Hello everyone. Today I will be reading chapter 23 and chapter 24 of The Boy Who Sailed the Ocean in the Armchair. It's by Lara Williamson, the publisher is Usborne, and the ISBN number is 9781409576327. I must know that off by heart by now. Chapter 23. We stare at it for a moment before it flies away, but then it comes back again. Nevaeh is up out of her seat, her hands pressed flat against the window now. The butterfly waits for a second before flying away and coming back again. "It's telling us something," she shouts, Nevaeh, her corn brows bouncing. "It is, honestly, it is." "I don't understand, butterfly," I reply, picking up the envelope of paper cranes. "Well, I do," says Nevaeh, and she grabs me by the arm. "We need to follow that butterfly. In movies, they always say, 'Follow that taxi,' but never 'follow that butterfly.' And there's probably a good reason for that, because when Nevaeh rings the bell and we jump off the bus, the butterfly has done what butterflies do, flown off." "OK, what happens now?" I ask, as the bus trundles away down the road towards Honeydown Hills without us. My nails make crescent moons in my palms. "Oh," says Nevaeh, her head drooping. "The butterfly has gone. I thought we could follow it, and it would lead us to Billy." There's a volcano building in my stomach as I storm off down the street, shouting that I'm going to have to go back to the bus stop and catch another one now. I've lost valuable time thanks to Nevaeh's butterfly. Undeterred, Nevaeh and Knuckles follow me, and Nevaeh is shaking her head, saying she can't believe the butterfly got it wrong. "I was sure it was a sign," she sighs. "I thought it would take us straight to Billy, and we were going in the wrong direction on that bus. It was like it was trying to lead us somewhere else." "We're definitely going the wrong direction now," I mutter. "We're going away from our old house. That's where he'll be." We walk along the pavement that passes candy-coloured houses. Every so often there's a little break and we can see down towards the harbour where the sun is trying to squeeze itself through the clouds and throw golden pennies across the water. I shout back that Nevaeh and Knuckles can go home now and I'll find Billy by myself. I shout that the bracelet is stupid. They pretend they can't hear me and slope along behind me like two shadows. This is totally useless. I'm going to have to stop and text Dad and tell him Billy is missing. But Dad's at Pearl's exhibition, and things are going to totally kick off when he gets this. I sit on the wall at the end of the row of houses and pull out my mobile to type in a message. "Dad, I've lost." Knuckles and Nevaeh sit on either side of me. At that point, a butterfly flutters past all three of us and then into one of the gardens behind. I turn to look at it. Nevaeh turns to watch it too, and it settles on a bush and scolds the butterfly, saying, "This isn't the time for eating. It's the time for finding Billy." "It's just a butterfly," I yell, getting angry. "I don't believe the universe cares about us enough to send help via butterflies. Otherwise we'd never lose people and we'd love in the first place." Nevaeh looks at me, her eyes glittering. "You're just saying that because you're worried about Billy. Here, take your stupid bracelet," I spit, shoving the envelope of cranes under one arm and tugging at the bracelet on my wrist. "I knew it was a daft idea wearing it. I'm sick of it. I wish I'd never put it on. Nothing amazing's happened, just loads of bad things." The elastic stretches between my fingers but doesn't snap, and then the bracelet springs back, catching the hairs on my arm and making my eyes water. I tell myself, I'm not crying, I'm not crying, I'm not crying. I am crying, though. I'm crying inside, because I want my mum. I want my dad, and most of all, I want my Billy back. Embarrassed, I plan to storm off to hide the tears that are already spilling down my cheeks. Only Nevaeh storms off before me, rising from the wall and walking towards the path that leads to the harbour. I get all uppity that she's storming off before me and start to follow her. "Where do you think you're going?" I ask. "Why should you care? You don't think my butterflies are important, and so that means you can't think I am either. I thought you and I were similar, but we're not. I believe that we haven't lost our loved ones, and you believe we have." There's a fireball rising in my chest, and I wipe away any lipids, water, sodium, and potassium from my cheeks. Knuckles catches up and walks along beside me. After a moment, he says, "I saw you in reception on the first day of school. You know, you hugged your dad, and I wanted that for myself. I felt bad about it, but I couldn't help it either. After that, I could hardly look at you because I thought you had everything I didn't have. I was jealous because You had a dad who was there for you when mine wasn't. When I got home, I felt sad and I wanted to cry, and I remember how Dad told me, trees need water to grow strong and people need tears to do the same. Knuckles gives me a faint smile. I'm sorry. And what I'm trying to say is, crying's okay. It'll make you stronger. My dad says so. I sniff a bit but manage to smile. When we catch her up, Nevaeh is staring out across the harbour, which looks deserted except for one small person standing on his own on the harbour wall. Who's that? Asked Nevaeh, lifting her hand to shield her eyes against the late afternoon sunlight. They're standing close to the edge. I follow her gaze. It's hard to make the person out, but I know in my gut that it's Billy. I scream at Billy as I run all the way down the winding road towards the harbour. It's not a long way, but it's too far for him to hear me. Nevaeh and Knuckles race after me, and no matter how much we shout, our voices seem to be carried off on the chariots of wind. Hypnotised, Billy leans closer to the water. Too close, in fact. There's something in his hand, only I can't make it out. Billy's mouth seems to be moving. I propel myself forward as fast as my legs will go. Screaming, check. Arm waving, check. Panicking, check. Stressing, check. Wishing for stronger underpants, check. If there isn't a law about how far to lean over harbour walls, there should be. I watch in horror as the wall under Billy's feet seems to disappear and Billy, in a rainbow smear of clothes, topples forward. There is a plop like a pebble breaking the surface of the water. Then there's a whoosh of wind in my hair as I run towards the edge of the harbour wall, screaming. But I'm still too far from him. I can't reach. Nevaeh and Knuckles are running after me, shouting that we need to get help from grown-ups and we can't do anything stupid. As I look behind me, I see Nevaeh on her mobile. That's the last thing I see. On land, anyway. I jump in after Billy. The envelope in my hand flies into the air and lands on the water beside me with a slap. As I break the surface. Let me say this. Falling is a funny business. Hitting the water is not. Down I go, dropping like a stone. Down into the darkness. And that's the end of chapter 23. But chapter 24 is very short. There it is. One page. I will read it now. I feel small. Losing Billy feels big. The world is dark without him. I think about Billy's nightmare. I think I'm in it. And that is where I will stop for today. Until the next time.